Konnichiwa minasan. Hey friends, how are you? Welcome to Saral Japani YouTube channel. This is a place where we talk about Japan, Japanese language learning, and Japanese culture and lifestyle. This is the series or the playlist called Japanese Lessons for Beginners, and today is lesson 92 of this series. Today's topic is Moshi Moshi Telephonic Talks. Yes, so we are going to look at some specific and exclusive rules of telephonic conversations in Japanese, which are not applicable in normal in person or face to face communication. So it's going to be really interesting. So let's proceed with this lesson. So here we are going to present before you an audio of a short telephonic conversation between our favorite Tanaka-san and Suzuki-san. And after this audio, we will discuss each and every aspect of that conversation. So here goes the audio of a conversation between Tanaka-san and Suzuki-san. Moshi moshi, moshi moshi. Suzuki-san, konnichiwa. Tanaka desu. Konnichiwa, Tanaka-san. O genki desu ka? O kage sama de genki desu. Suzuki-san, watashi to Honda-san wa 明日釣りに行きます。一緒に行きませんか？それがありがとう。明日8時はどうですか？ 8 時は大丈夫です。車で行きますか？いいえ、電車で行きます。どこで会いましょうか？ 8 時に駅の前に会いましょう。わかりました。鈴木さん、ではまたね。ありがとう田中さん。So that was the conversation, and I hope you could understand at least some of it, if not the entire one, because most of the things included in that conversation belong to the past 3 lessons of this series, that is 89, 90, and 91. So anyways, let's move ahead with this conversation and let's discuss. So this is the conversation. So let me read it now. Tanaka-san, moshi moshi. Suzuki-san, moshi moshi. Tanaka-san says, Suzuki-san, konnichiwa. Tanaka desu. Suzuki-san says, Konnichiwa, Tanaka-san. O genki desu ka? Tanaka-san says, O kage sama de genki desu. Suzuki-san, watashi to Honda-san wa ashita tsuri ni ikimasu. Issho ni ikimasen ka? Then Suzuki-san says, Sore wa arigatou. Tanaka-san, ashita 8 時はどうですか？ 8 時は大丈夫です。車で行きますか？いいえ、電車で行きます。どこで会いましょうか？ 8 時に駅の前に会いましょう。わかりました。Suzuki-san, ではまたね。ありがとう田中さん。So this was the telephonic conversation, and now let's look line by line and let's get to the meaning of each. So the conversation begins with moshi moshi. So this is a phrase that you must have come across. At least we have come across for the first time in this series. So moshi moshi means a telephonic hello. That means when we meet a person face to face, we don't say moshi moshi. This is used only in case of telephonic conversations. And this is how we start a telephonic conversation in Japanese. This means it is same as we say hello over telephone. So moshi moshi. And do remember that it has to be twice. Moshi has to be said twice. A single moshi means something else, which we will see later in this course. So for now, just remember that we have to say moshi moshi to begin a telephonic conversation in Japanese. Suzuki-san reciprocates with the same expression, moshi moshi, that is hello. Then Tanaka-san says, Suzuki-san, konnichiwa, Tanaka desu. Again, another expression, konnichiwa, which means good day, have a nice day. So in English or in any other language, we do not use this good day expression, or we simply say hello or how are you doing, like that. So this is specific to Japanese. So that's why the translation here. Otherwise, this may not be applicable in your language. Suzuki-san, konnichiwa, Tanaka des. Good day, Suzuki-san. It's Tanaka. So he's saying over the phone. Suzuki-san replies back, konnichiwa, Tanaka-san. O genki desu ka? Good day, Tanaka-san. How are you? So o genki desu ka expression we have earlier learned in this series. Then there is a long sentence, which is a reply from Tanaka-san. It has answers, it has questions. Tanaka-san says, O kage sama de genki desu. Suzuki-san, watashi to Honda-san wa ashita tsuri ni ikimasu. Issho ni ikimasen ka? So there are several things in this sentence, and we have learned each of these in our past lessons. The first one is Okage sama de genki desu. This we learned in the last lesson on expressions. Okage sama de genki desu means thanks to you. Thanks to you for asking how am I. So Suzuki-san had asked O genki desu ka? So this is the reply of O genki desu ka? So the reply is, the informal reply is genki desu, and a formal reply and a more polite reply is Okage sama de genki desu. So that means before saying genki desu, that I am fine, Okage sama. Okage sama means thanks to you. Why thanks to you? Because you asked me about my health. So that's why thanks to you for asking this, I am doing well. This is what Okage sama de genki desu means. The next part is Suzuki-san, watashi to Honda-san wa ashita tsuri ni ikimasu. So this means watashi to Honda-san. This is the to particle, which means I and Mr. Honda. I and Honda-san wa ashita, that is tomorrow, tsuri ni ikimasu. So again, tsuri ni ikimasu, this we learned in the last lesson. That is the purpose followed by ni particle followed by the motion verb. So tsuri ni ikimasu means we are going for fishing. That means tomorrow myself and Honda-san are going for fishing. Issho ni ikimasen ka? Would you like to go with us? Would you like to join us? Again, issho ni ikimasen ka? This is masen ka phrase which we learned in lesson 90, or in fact 89. Yeah, we learned this in lesson number 89. So you can go there and see this part if you don't understand. Issho means together, and ikimasen ka means would you like to go together. That means would you like to go with us. So okage sama de genki desu. Suzuki-san, Honda-san, watashi to Honda-san wa ashita tsuri ni ikimasu. Issho ni ikimasen ka? Thanks to you, I am doing well. Suzuki-san, I and Honda-san are going for fishing tomorrow. Would you like to join us? Would you like to go together? Would you like to go with us? So this is that meaning. Now Suzuki-san replies, Sore wa arigato. Sore wa arigato. So arigato we know that it is thanks, and sore means that. Kore is this, sore is that. So sore wa arigato means thanks for that. That means thanks for asking me. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to join you guys for the fishing trip. So this is another expression which is sore wa arigato. That is thanks for that or thanks for this. If you give a present to someone, or if you do some favor, or if you bring something, suppose you went somewhere and you bought a gift for someone, so when you offer that gift, then also this expression may be used, sore wa arigato. So sore wa arigato means he, on one hand, he thanks Tanaka-san for offering him to go to join them for fishing, and at the same time sore wa arigato also means that he is ready, he is accepting the offer, since he has not said any reason for not being able to join them. So sore wa arigato, it sums it all, that he is thanking him and also he is willing to join them. So this is what he meant. So that's why Tanaka-san directly asked, Ashita hachiji wa do desu ka? So again, do desu ka expression we have learned recently, which means how about, or what do you think of? Ashita 8 ji, that means tomorrow 8 o'clock. So how about tomorrow 8 o'clock? So is this time okay for you to join us? So we are going at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So what do you think about it? Or how about this time? Does it suit you? Does it work for you? Ashita 8 ji wa do desu ka? Does 8 o'clock tomorrow morning work for you? Or how about 8 o'clock tomorrow? 8時は大丈夫です. Now Suzuki-san replies, 8時は大丈夫です. Again, 大丈夫 we have recently learned that it means fine. So 8時は大丈夫です means 8 o'clock is fine. That means I'm okay for this time to go for fishing. And additionally, Suzuki-san asks, how are we going there? That is, 車で行きますか? That means, are we going by car? Tanaka-san replies, いえ、電車で行きます. No, we are not going by car. We are going by train. We will go by train. So, de particle, this is the mode of transport followed by de particle followed by the motion verb. So, this again we learned recently. So, all these concepts that we learned in the recently concluded lessons have been incorporated in this specially designed conversation to teach you how people in Japanese converse with each other over telephone. So, densha de ikimasu. We will go by train. Then Suzuki-san's next question is, doko de aimashou ka? Now, aimashou, as you know, mata aimashou, which I say at the end of every day's lesson. Mata aimashou means see you again. So, aimashou is the verb which means let's meet. It's masho form, which we learned in lesson 90. So, aimashou, aimas, the verb au means to meet, and aimas means we meet, I meet, and aimashou means let's meet. So now if we form a question with that, then the question will be, where shall we meet? Doko de aimashou ka? Where shall we meet? Aimashou is the verb of that represents let's meet. So if you make it an interrogatory sentence, then let's meet becomes where shall we meet? So that's why doko de ikimasu ka. So here again, de particle will be used in this type of questions. So this we have not done yet in our course, that the use of de particle to join a doko question with the masho form of the verb. So we will see this soon. But for now, just remember that if we ask a where kind of question, where shall we meet, it will be doko de aimashou ka. So the answer of Tanaka-san is 8時に駅の前に会いましょう. Now, eki no mae ni aimashou, this again a recently concluded concept in our series where we have seen many examples of this, which is eki no mae means in front of the station, mae means in front of. So we did all these location based adverbs recently in one of our lessons. So this is the application of that. 8時に駅の前. 8時に means at 8 o'clock. 駅の前, eki is the railway station, and 駅の前 means in front of the railway station. に会いましょう. So we looked at those examples using arimas and imas. That is, 机の上に電話があります. So similarly, 駅の前に会いましょう. We shall meet in front of the station at 8 o'clock. Another example, 机の下に猫がいます. That means there is a cat under the table. 机の上に電話があります. There is a telephone over the table. So similarly, 8時に駅の前に会いましょう. We shall meet in front of the station at 8 o'clock. Then Suzuki-san says, わかりました. That means understood. Now it's clear. Where shall we meet and where shall we go, and by what mode of transport we shall go and where shall we meet. So わかりました. This is the past tense of the verb わかります. So now the discussion is over. Now Tanaka-san says, Suzuki-san, ではまたね. Tanaka-san says, see you later, Suzuki-san. So deva means later and matane means see you. So see you later. So that means it's now time to end this call. And then Suzuki-san says, arigato Tanaka-san, thanks Tanaka-san. Or he could have also said the same expression, deva matane, that's see you later. So this is how an informal, I would say. It's not very formal because it seems they are friends going together. So it's kind of informal telephonic conversation between Tanaka-san and Suzuki-san. So now this was the conversation and the description and explanation of how some specific expressions are used during the conversation, especially in the beginning and in the end. And now we shall see some more formal version. So the same conversation, if we consider, Tanaka-san says moshi moshi, Suzuki-san also says moshi moshi. Then Tanaka-san says Tanaka to moshimasho. Sorry, Tanaka to moshimasu. Tanaka to moshimasu. Now moshimasu is a polite form of saying, otherwise Tanaka-san could have said Tanaka des, isn't it? Tanaka des. So I am Tanaka. But instead of that, he said Tanaka to moshimasu. That means people know me by the name Tanaka. This is the meaning of Tanaka to moshimasu. That means my name is Tanaka. This is another way of saying that I am known by Tanaka. That means my name is Tanaka. It's the same thing, but this is a more polite form. So I am Tanaka. This sounds little rude. So that's why I am known by Tanaka. That is a more polite version. Then he says, Suzuki-san irashaimasu ka? So irashaimase we had earlier learned, which means welcome. But when we use it in the form of a question, irashaimasu ka, then that means is Suzuki-san there? So over telephone, sometimes someone else picks up the phone and we say, is XYZ available there to talk with me? So this is the same thing. So Tanaka-san first introduces himself and then asks for Suzuki-san. So Tanaka to moshimasu, Suzuki-san irashaimasu ka? So now regarding moshimasu, there is another thing is that this is usually used when the callee is not known to the caller. That means when you call maybe some service department or some customer care or a person whose phone number you have just received, but you have not met that person. You are going to first time talk to that person and going to introduce himself. So in that case also moshimasu is used. So in other words, this is a more formal and polite version. So instead of saying this. So Suzuki-san now replies, Konnichiwa, Suzuki desu. So by chance, Suzuki-san only picked up the phone. So Tanaka-san didn't know from this voice moshi moshi that it was Suzuki-san, because probably he is calling him for the first time. So that's why he said, can I talk to Suzuki-san? So Suzuki-san irashaimasu ka? So Suzuki-san only picked up that phone. So he says, Konnichiwa, Suzuki desu. Now he doesn't say Suzuki to moshimasu because he didn't make that telephone call. He was the receiving part. So the formality level and the politeness level will be little less for this person. So Suzuki-san simply says Suzuki desu. And then the same conversation happens. So we will not look into that because it's the same conversation. So the main purpose was to highlight the more formal expressions that are used to begin and end the call. Now towards the end of the call, last time we just said Deva Matane, isn't it? Deva Matane. But this time we will say Deva Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. So Deva Yoroshiku onegai shimasu means, well then, thank you very much. So this is a more polite and formal gesture to end the call, that now the conversation is over. So Thank you very much for your time. And similarly, Suzuki-san also says, onegai shimasu. So he can also say arigato gozaimasu, and or onegai shimasu is a better expression to end this call. Sometimes shitsurei shimasu is also used. So shitsurei shimasu may be used in this situation as well, which means excuse me. So the reason behind shitsurei shimasu is that, and it is used by the person who has initiated the telephone call. So in this case, Tanaka-san initiated the telephone call. Now, after the talk, if Tanaka-san initiates the disconnection of the call, if Tanaka-san feels that the discussion is over now, the call should be ended, then he should say shitsurei shimasu, because he was the originator of the call and he only is willing to or trying to end the call. So whoever initiates the process of ending the call, closing the conversation, he will say shitsurei shimasu. So that would mean that the call is being ended and everything has been discussed. So shitsurei shimasu will be said in that case, and then the other person will reply by arigato or matane or onegai shimasu or any such parting expression. So this is how this telephonic conversations happen in Japanese. So there are more concepts, there are more expressions while conversing in over telephone. But since this is the first lesson of telephonic conversation, so we keep it simple and hope this has been helpful. So friends, before we leave, so why not repeat the conversation one more time so that we get little more used to it, and let's practice. So I will go back to the audio form of the version and I would expect you to listen carefully and make out what I am saying. So pardon me for having the same voice for both Tanaka-san and Suzuki-san, but I will give a gap between two sentences between the two speakers so that you know where Tanaka-san is ending and where Suzuki-san is beginning the dialogue delivery. So here goes the audio. Moshi moshi, moshi moshi. Suzuki-san, konnichiwa. Tanaka desu. Konnichiwa, Tanaka-san. O genki desu ka? O kage sama de genki desu. Suzuki-san, watashi to Honda-san wa ashita tsuri ni ikimasu. Issho ni ikimasen ka? それはありがとう。明日8時はどうですか ?8 時は大丈夫です。車で行きますかいえ、電車で行きます。どこで会いましょうか ?8 時に駅の前に会いましょう。わかりました。鈴木さん、ではまたね。ありがとう、田中さん。もしもし、もしもし、田中と申します。鈴木さんいらっしゃいますかこんにちは、鈴木です。And the conversation, and finally, ではよろしくお願いします。お願いします。So friends, that was it. And so we are done with today's lesson. So we will meet again next time and we will do something new in lesson 93. Thank you very much for viewing this video. And if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. Our channel name is Saral Japani and the address is youtube.com/@saraljapani. So till we meet again, mata aimashou.